I'm going to read a sort of patchwork of bits and pieces. Of course, the book itself is kind of a patchwork of bits and pieces, but I'm going to hop around in it. Starting, though, at the beginning on the eve of the Twofer Pride March. Blanche, white night of my dark day, my sister, myself. Blanche, a cry building behind sealed lips, then blowing through. First the pout, then the plosive, the meow of the vowel, then the fricative sound of silence. Shh. Blanche is sleeping. She's been sleeping for 15 years. I can tell you the exact moment I knew she was waking up, but allow me a day's grace. Let me remember that last afternoon, unimportant in itself, wonderfully unimportant, when I was still Nora, just Nora, Nora only, Nora alone. The flags lining Market Street from Church to Castro flexed and snapped, showing sometimes one, sometimes two linked rings. The stop signs shuddered on their spines. The wind had picked up in the late afternoon as usual, and now the whole sky seemed to be toppling sideways over the Twin Peaks, carrying with it whirls of smoke from the incinerators and pure white spooks of fog. I was meandering home from the movie theater without the tickets I'd gone there for, joggling 2 oranges in a plastic bag and going over my excuses. Blanche was sleeping. Of course she was. I dropped into the gutter to skirt some crowd control fences ganged in readiness against a streetlight, and our heads collided. A distant, confused echo of her pain overtook and lost itself in mine, but her breathing stayed steady and deep. I was threading my way along the curb. The sidewalk was already thronged with out-of-towners, already dressed for pride in brand-new T-shirts with rubbery silkscreen slogans, one's company and 2 squared and yes I am ease. They were strolling in 2s and 3s and 4s of varying molecular structure, exchanging glances of appraisal and nervous pleasure. The singletons anxious to understand, to be seen understanding. The Twofers beaming, indecently grateful for one weekend of sanctioned self-satisfaction. Tomorrow they'd all be here, Siamese and Siamistics, conjoined and joiners, doppelgangers and gruesome twosomes, double talkers, double dealers, twice-told tale-tellers. An odious prospect. Already I was getting looks of curiosity and sympathy, like the birthday child in a leukemia ward. The twin amplifiers flanking the temporary stage back at 18th Street retched, rid themselves of 5 beats of that ubiquitous "we are 2R1 forever," went dead. No, we're not, I thought reflexively. I pulled one hood of my hoodie farther over Blanche, but her blonde hair spilled out, catching a rogue ray of sun, and the tourists gave each other quick digs with their elbows. It's Sleeping Beauty. As for the hag, with a 2-faced apple in her pocket, everyone knows how the story goes. Sooner or later, she'll have to turn the other cheek. Repent, advised the wizened lady in the plastic visor who protested every day at Market and 16th. Oh, I do, I said fervently, hand on hearts. Let me be clear while I still can. I'm a twofer, what they used to call a Siamese twin, though I prefer conjoined, with its faint echo of the alchemist's conjunctio and those copulatives copulating in grammar books. I'm the one on the left, you're right. Blanche is on my right, your left. I'll say it, we have strong cheekbones, long earlobes, hazel eyes, and dirty blonde hair, which is also usually dirty blonde hair. Glamour's not very important to me, and it seems goofy to groom Blanche, like trimming my pubes into a heart. But I'm not really a hag. I am stern, though, and wear the marks of habitual sternness, while Blanche is smooth as soap. I never used to need a mirror to know what I looked like. I just turned my head. But we've grown apart, Blanche in her beauty sleep and I. Dicephalus, dipus, dibrachius, that's 2 heads, 2 legs, and 2 arms. Standard issue twofer. Aside from that pair of face cards, we hold an average hand, not much different from yours. Novelties include the short 3rd collarbone we share between us, a spinal column that begins to divide in 2 around the 6th thoracic vertebra, flaring the upper chest, 2 windpipes, 2.5 lungs, and a deuce of hearts. Audrey says vampires also have two hearts, one good, one bad. While the good heart beats, the vampire is as capable of kindness as any human soul. But when the good heart stops, the beat of the bad heart strengthens in the dying breast and makes a decent woman rise from her coffin to prey on everyone she once loved best. The blood of kinfolk wets her chin. If this is true of Twofers too, I know which heart is mine. Nora! Across the street, a duplex figure in a festival t-shirt waved a fluttering pink flyer. Cindy and Mindy? I couldn't remember their names, but I had a feeling they rhymed. Twofer names so often do. Jane and Elaine then, or Mitzi and Fritzy, were passing out flyers with both hands next to a leaning cutout of Rubia Morena, this year's Pride Queen. Knowing it was futile, I kept my face lowered as I crossed, as if trying to read something in the shadow that glided along with me, symmetrical and terrible as a Rorschach blot. Nora! Blanche! Grimacing, I raised my head. These activist Twofers always seemed to make a point of saluting both of me. Both of her chugged up, twin chins doubling as they beamed with the bliss of outreach. Kelly and Shelley? We did the tongue and groove kiss, the one where you dock your heads together, kiss the air between. The first time a San Francisco hipster tried this on me, I thought he was trying to tongue my saddle. An honest mistake, but he never forgave me that snap kick. Over their shoulder, I watched Rubia Morena stagger, spin, and fall. Some togetherists attempted to right her, then gave up when the wind felled her a second time. I'd been seeing their orange t-shirts all month. The open secret that most of their members were singletons had become an embarrassment to them. They'd be recruiting aggressively this weekend. Every Two's so looking forward to Audrey's film. Two must be so proud. She'll be at the premiere, of course. The second person plural, a local Twofer rights group, had tried to introduce a couple years ago, had not caught on, but a few devotees still used it with enthusiasm. Blanche might go, but I don't think I can make it, I drawled. Technically, they laughed, a simultaneous nasal huff, but only out of nervousness. A subordinated twin was not funny. Well, we'd all be delighted to see Two, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to Audrey. They reached out and hooked a strand of hair out of Blanche's mouth. I wondered if one of them had a crush on her. Talk about pathetic fallacy. Might as well have a crush on a freckle or a polyp. Don't go by the listings in the paper. We've made some last-minute changes. The latest times are on the flyers. Pressing a couple into my hand, they turned. Oh no! They hurried toward their fallen queen, whose blank back was already paisley with footprints. I think I can make do with just one, I said, lunging after them. Thank to you, anyway. Ugh! Departing, I made an involuntary warding off gesture. The oranges, flung out and jerked back, bounced together, reminding me of a toy from our childhood, 2 plexiglass balls on cords knotted to a ring. You raised and lowered your hand, letting the balls bang together harder and harder until they met at the top as well as the bottom of their arc, completing a circle to which each contributed half. Granny had always said, with, I think, a morbid pleasure, that it was an accident waiting to happen. She said this about a lot of things, and had proved to be right about some of them. "Excuse me, are you radioactive?" said a bald girl with a clipboard. I shouldered past her and turned toward home, zipping up my hoodie. It was getting cold. The fog was closing over the handsome, narrow houses with their rainbow beach umbrellas, their Twofer beach umbrellas, their rainbow Twofer beach umbrellas. I looked up and farther up, straining to see the rocky top of the hill, whose name I still don't know, though I've lived in its late afternoon shadow for almost 10 years. The sky was one mute shriek of white. I dropped my gaze, shot through with sheen and comets, and located the sun I hadn't seen in its violet afterimage. Then I looked up again and found the sun proper by following its ghost. My eyes watered. The sun wobbled and slid apart into twin suns, abominably, and I thought, I have to get rid of Blanche. Nora, being sort of joyfully self-loathing, keeps a scrapbook of documents she finds particularly odious, called the Siamese Twin Reference Manual, and some of the entries are interspersed through the book. This is one